The Jay Slater cover up just got a whole lot worse as his aunt speaks out for the very first time, revealing troubling details that are highly suspicious. And we also get a closer look at Jay's supposed friends through never before seen private messages. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a video with me and Miss Gabby, the best private investigator on all of YouTube. Jay Slater's aunt is on TikTok and she posted this heartbreaking video remembering Jay and his favorite song as a tribute. Dark days are over. Dark days are The video is to a trap remix of Florence and the Machines' Dog Days Are Over, and I have been listening to this song all morning as I walk my dogs because it's a beautiful tribute and a great way to remember Jay. But many users have noticed a strange detail in the caption that reads, quote, one of Jay's favorite songs on his phone. I can't believe today not only did we find nothing on your phone from when you was away, no videos, no photos, we also got refused to see you. I am so sorry this is happening, Jay, end quote. And for a 19-year-old on his first trip away from home, it is highly suspicious that he had no photos of even his trip on his device. And users were quick to point out this troubling detail, writing, quote, what? Everything has been wiped. Debbie and Warren needs to pay to get access to everything. I'm sure there's a way to do it. End quote. Yeah, and Gabby definitely believes that there's something more nefarious at play here if his phone was cleared of any potential evidence. Hopefully, an inquest by the British police will reveal what was hidden on his device, but that could take up to a year. As revealed by many news outlets, Jay's family will not be allowed to see Jay because his body was severely deteriorated. The autopsy revealed he had several broken bones and a wound to the back of his head, which was ruled consistent with a fall. So the only person to see Jay was an anonymous tip-off and then the Spanish police. And some even go as far as to say that the body retrieved in the ravine might not even be Jay's because it was identified through fingerprints according to news reports, but that wouldn't be possible after 4 weeks of this body baking in the sun. They would have to use dental records, and the most fingerprints could survive is like 4 days in that climate, as confirmed by a forensic expert. It's important to note that Tenerife officials might also be corrupt and protecting the criminal underworld on the island, since it's the biggest vacation destination in all of Spain and one of the most popular in the world because they hold this major festival. I mean, it's safe to say that there's a ton of substance transporting that occurs on this island, given all the partying that takes place there. And it's possible that officials are paid off to keep this sort of stuff quiet, so it's in their interest to stage a cover-up. And the Dutch team revealed that in order to see the location of Jay's body, they had to hike down the ravine for 2.5 hours, use machetes to get through all the vegetation just to even reach the bottom of the 500-foot cliff he allegedly fell off. And even when the sniffer dogs arrived to the location of Jay's scent, the animals themselves could not reach the exact location of Jay, and the search team actually had to use a drone, which begs the question, how would the person who tipped off the police to the location of Jay's whereabouts be able to even find him, because it was impossible to get there by foot. And this footage that was provided by Guardia Civil was actually debunked by Down the Rapids and said this is actually from an old rescue mission and this isn't the retrieval of Jay's body. And also, how can we forget that the night before Jay's body was found, there was a large disturbance in the Masca Mountains where Jay's phone last pinged. And it was also the night of the Euro 2024 finals between Spain and England, giving a perfect opportunity to place Jay's body, if that is the case. There are a ton of suspicious details about the way Jay's body was found. His clothes were found beside him. Today we learned his phone was wiped clean, and the Spanish police called off the search 3 weeks into it and then suddenly began searching the day before the Dutch search team arrived, which would allow the corrupt police to find Jay and control the narrative and potentially destroy any evidence. Also, if Jay was out in the heat for that long, wildlife and world-class sniffer dogs could have easily tipped off his location to not only the authorities, but to the huge amount of amateur hikers and cyber sleuths searching that area, because that area was combed over because it was only 20 minutes away from where his phone last pinged. Last night, the last two people to ever see Jay alive went on TikTok Live. The two men are Airbnb hosts Ayub Kasim and a new character called Rocky. And these two men invited Jay back to their place in the remote mountains of Masca, 23 miles away from Jay's hotel. And the reason they did that is because allegedly they say Jay lost his key. I mean, there are a ton of videos of this TikTok Live circulating on YouTube, but I found these two to be mostly incoherent and unwatchable, but they do show that they know more than they're letting on, because they confirm a very important detail about how Jay was at the Airbnb.
Detective guy said, "Oh, he had two knives on him, and he left scared." That's even more mental, like.
What? The detective guy said he had two knives on him. Assuming that he's talking about Mark Williams Thomas, I've never heard Mark say that Jay had two knives on him. Have you?
Yes, and that video is from Michelle After Dark, who I will link in the description below. But basically, she caught on that it wasn't Mark Williams Thomas who said the detail about Jay carrying two knives at the B&B. It was actually Jay's friend who was messaging Debbie Duncan, Jay's mom, at the start of the case. And these are the same text messages that revealed that Jay was actually going back to this B&B to sell an AP watch to pay off his debt he owed to these substance dealers. And many cyber sleuths are pointing out that in this TikTok Live, it seems as though they are not taking the situation seriously, and many cyber sleuths are calling the Airbnb hosts disrespectful. The hosts could have easily called a cab for Jay or drove him home instead of them both going back to bed, and the situation could have never happened as it was entirely preventable. The other person who was with Jay at the B&B has been identified as Rocky from this TikTok Live. And so I messaged Rocky about a video that exists at the B&B of Jay having a good time and being coherent and joking around. The existence of this video was confirmed by Ayub himself, writing, quote, "It's me and Jay laughing at Rocky for sleeping, so he's on my end like behind the camera." End quote. I mean, one moment they're saying Jay lost his key. The next moment they're saying they went back to the B&B to continue a party. And then it's been revealed that they all just went to bed. It seems as though their story just keeps changing and doesn't make any sense, including like they gave Jay a charger to charge his phone, but he couldn't charge it because there was no outlets, even though there's clearly outlets in the Airbnb listing near the couch where Jay was apparently sleeping. Their most recent post is of themselves boxing and punching the air after allegations surfaced that they punched Jay before he left the B&B. And after Ayub was called out for this post that seemed to be poking fun at these allegations, he deleted it. So I don't know what to think of all this. What do you guys think about his phone getting wiped? Is there evidence on there? Why aren't they sharing this video? Sound off in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting my face right above Miss Gabby. And let's roll the outro.